Oh hey, I just saw that new Mario Galaxy movie directed by Michael Jelenic and Aaron Horvath. This is the sequel to the 2023 Mario movie, but this time Rosalina gets captured by Bowser Jr., so the Mario Brothers and Toad and Yoshi and Princess Peach have to go save her. And I have this problem with Illumination where no matter what, I'm disappointed. Even when I set my standard so unbearably low. And look, I didn't love or even like the first Mario movie for that matter, but I always have a little bit of optimism that maybe Illumination will turn things around this time. Maybe this will be the movie where they finally become a good animation studio. It's not. In fact, it's a bad movie. But maybe Minions 3 will change things. Almost all of my criticisms and praise for the first movie could be applied to this sequel. As a silly way to incorporate a million different Mario references into an hour and 30-minute package, it's inoffensive. In fact, that's one of Mario Galaxy's biggest strengths. One of my friends brought up the fact that there were like 5 different moments where we were all pointing at the screen like... The references themselves dig a little deeper into the Mario iceberg than I was expecting, like with Wart, World -1, and Birdo. And I'm starting to think they're running out of characters to reveal, which sucks because a majority of this movie runs on the idea of, hey, remember this Mario thing? Well, look at this. I was hoping Birdo would get a more serious role and maybe even her own movie. The movie spends all of its time shoving references down your throat, and there are still things that I wish we got to see. I would love to see Waluigi or Flood or that one Luma that you fill up with a bunch of star bits and then he gets really big. Granted, we got a 5-course meal of Mario illusions and I'm getting caught up on the appetizers. Probably because the meal wasn't very good. Making a movie off of Mario Galaxy makes the most sense when considering how rich the game's environments are, as well as just having a cool concept. It's Mario in space. I'm a sucker for the symphony renditions of the Mario songs. They sound great here. Visually, the movie is very bright. Sometimes less is more. Every frame is an attack on your eyes. Even the space scenes. I know people that would get a headache watching this, especially when considering the relentless pace of this movie. It's the equivalent of eating 10 pixie sticks. To the animation's credit, the movie is more open to experimentation than its predecessor, which isn't saying a lot. It's still doing just more than the bare minimum. Without spoiling anything, one character receives like a retro 90s intro. That was cool. It's a much needed breath of fresh air, but I'm confused why there aren't more sequences like this. With how much money obviously went into the visuals, this is still being outshined by top animation studios. Everything is squeaky clean and polished, but it's boring. There's no style. I'm thinking specifically how lazy the fight scenes look, all of which were apparently required to include 2 different slow-mo shots. It looks like all the care they had went into the puppet scene, which is a good showcase of what Illumination's actually capable of. It's my favorite scene in the movie, not only visually, but it shows backstory in a cutesy and subtle way. It also makes you care about the Bowser Jr. Bowser dynamic. The best character here, naturally, is Luigi. His relationship with Bowser makes me laugh. Charlie Day fits so naturally into this role, which can't be said for a majority of this movie's performances. Like Chris Pratt as Mario, who still doesn't sound fully convinced that he's playing Mario. It still comes across as an odd choice, even in the second movie. But you know, at least it's not Seth Rogen Donkey Kong, which was received so poorly that I think it's the reason he's not even mentioned in this movie. Including Donald Glover as Yoshi is like hiring Childish Gambino to sing an Ed Sheeran song. You don't need an actor of this caliber to do this performance. Yoshi as a whole makes me uncomfortable, particularly the Yoshi sounds. He appears in Mario and Luigi, you're like, cool, I guess we'll bring him everywhere, probably for the rest of the franchise too. His backstory is funny, albeit cheesy. When he makes his shit into an egg and then uses his tongue and stuff, that's cool. I just wish he didn't talk. My friend Adam also mentioned that Peach and Rosalina being sisters is gonna change a lot of. In every fight scene, the hero ends up in some precarious position, and then someone else swoops in last second to save the day. If it's a one-off, that's cool. It happens several times here. Bowser begins to develop as a character and create a friendship between him and the Mario Bros. And then it's all just thrown out the window. Everything he learns in the first half of this movie doesn't apply or change his motivations. And that leads to my biggest problem with this movie. There can never be any emotional poignancy. They can't have any sincerity linger for just a second. It needs to be undercut with some shitty punchline or immediate distraction. That's why people are gonna forget this and no one's gonna resonate with this movie because there's no opportunity to. I felt no emotion watching this. Except for when Yoshi got killed, that was really sad. If Nintendo is planning on making several more franchise-based movies, there has to be a little more substance than fanboy slop. I'm praying for this Zelda movie to do like fucking anything. I would like to end this review with an anecdote about my mom. She took me out to lunch the other day and asked for my feelings on this movie. I mentioned to her, it's a lot like the first Mario movie, and we saw that together. And she says, I didn't see the first Mario movie. She forgot that we watched it together. And that's not her fault, because these movies are deprived of anything meaningful to say, any compelling stories to share, or anything to offer to non-Mario fans. Someone might comment, Aidan, why are you picking on this kid's movie that you're probably 15 years old, too old to be watching? And to that, I would say, because it makes me feel so good. 3 out of 10.